It was November when I found the cats. Not that I was really paying attention to the world back then. It had been 7 months since Anna died, and I had developed a very specific skill: getting through my days without actually living them. I worked the night shift at a cold storage warehouse. I walked home because my car had been in the shop for weeks, and I didn't have the money or the will to go get it. The road was long. The cold helped me not think. It was on one of those walks that I heard it. A car pulled over about 50 meters ahead of me. A nice car, the kind you notice. A woman stepped out in a hurry, like she was late for something important. She opened the back seat, grabbed a cat by the scruff, a tabby, full grown, and just placed her on the side of the road like she was a trash bag. The cat tried to jump back in. The woman blocked her with her knee, without even looking at her. Then she opened the trunk, pulled out a cardboard box, and flipped it upside down onto the wet grass. 2 kittens fell out, tiny, small enough to fit in one hand. The woman got back in the car and drove off fast. Didn't even check the rearview mirror. The cat ran straight to the kittens, sniffed each one, pressed her face against them, then looked both ways down the road with that expression cats get, like they're calculating something we'll never fully understand. I kept walking. I was good at that, at just keeping going. But about 10 steps later, I heard a sound I'll never really be able to describe. It wasn't a meow. It was smaller than that, like a call with no hope behind it. The kind of sound you make when you don't really believe anyone's coming. I turned around. The cat was sitting in the soaked grass, the 2 kittens between her front paws, looking straight at me. I stood there for longer than I should have, and then I thought of Anna. She would have said it without hesitation. "What? You just left them? You really just left?" With that tone she had, pretending to be mad, when she was already thinking of names for them. So I went back. The cat greeted me with her ears down and a clear warning in her eyes. I reached my hand out slowly. She sniffed for a while, made a decision I'll never understand, and stopped threatening me. She was thin in a way that hurt to look at. Her neck still marked where a collar had been too tight for too long. The kittens were shaking, from cold, from fear, maybe both. I took off my jacket, wrapped the kittens in it, picked them up. The cat stood up immediately, tense, ready to attack. I spoke softly. "I know, but they're with me. You can come." She came. She walked the 20 minutes to my house about 3 feet behind me, never taking her eyes off the kittens in my arms. Not once. At home, I laid my jacket out on the living room floor. The kittens curled into each other right away. The cat lowered herself over them, there's no better word for it, and stayed there, checking each one, licking them, making sure they were okay. I went to the fridge. There was some cooked chicken from 2 days ago. Half of it left. I cut it into small pieces, put it in a bowl, filled another bowl with water. She ate like she hadn't seen food in days. Then, she lay down on her side, and the kittens found their way on their own. I sat on the floor next to them for a long time. For the first time in 7 months, the house wasn't silent. The next morning, I woke up to a different sound. I went downstairs and saw it immediately. One of the kittens was separated from the others, lying on its side, barely moving. I picked him up in the palm of my hand. He was burning with fever, breathing with difficulty, eyes half open. The cat kept licking him non-stop, like her effort alone could fix it. I grabbed my phone, found the nearest vet clinic, put the kitten inside my shirt close to my chest, and left. The wiring in that house was old. I knew that. I'd been putting it off, like I'd been putting off a lot of things. I crouched down and touched the outlet again. Too hot. Not warm, not, maybe I'm imagining it. Hot. The kind of heat that doesn't ask for permission. I unplugged the lamp immediately. The flickering stopped. The wall went still, but something didn't feel right. I pressed my ear lightly against the drywall. A faint sound, not loud, not dramatic. Just a soft, irregular crackling, like something quietly coming apart behind the surface. I stepped back, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't hesitate. I grabbed my phone and called an electrician. Emergency call, night rate, expensive. I didn't care. While I waited, I kept the cats in the kitchen, away from that corner. Iris sat by the doorway, watching me like she understood more than she should. Bravo and Nina kept trying to slip past her, curious, but she blocked them every time. When the electrician arrived about 40 minutes later, he barely needed to look. He removed the outlet cover, shined a light inside, and let out a low whistle. "Yeah, you were close." "Close to what?" I asked. He looked at me, then back at the wall. "Fire. Probably would have started behind the drywall. You wouldn't have seen it until it was too late." I felt that sentence land somewhere deep. Too late. He explained that the wires were degraded, insulation worn down over time. The heat buildup had already started. Another night, maybe two, and the whole thing could have gone up. I nodded, but I wasn't really hearing him anymore. Because behind me on the kitchen floor, 3 small lives moved quietly across the tiles. And for a second, I saw it, clearer than anything. If I hadn't stopped that night on the road, if I had kept walking like I almost did, there would be no cats, no reason to come back early, no reason to notice the lamp, no reason to check the outlet, no call, no interruption, just sleep and fire. I sat down slowly on the couch after he left, the house smelling faintly of burnt plastic and cold air. Iris jumped up beside me without asking, settled in like she'd always been there. Bravo climbed onto my lap, clumsy as ever. Nina curled up against my side, that soft little sound humming in her chest. I ran my hand over their backs, one by one. 7 months. 7 months of silence. And somehow, 3 abandoned cats had walked into my life and pulled me back into it, piece by piece. Not all at once, not dramatically. Just enough. Enough to notice, enough to care, enough to act. I don't know if there's a word for that. People call it coincidence, luck, timing, maybe. But I remember that sound on the side of the road, that almost miato, that fragile, hopeless call, and I remember turning back. That was the moment everything changed. Not when the fire almost happened, not when the vet saved Bravo, not even when the house stopped being silent. It changed when I decided, for once, not to keep walking. And sometimes that's all it takes. Not a grand decision, not a perfect plan, just stopping, turning around, and choosing not to ignore something that needs you. Because you never really know what might be waiting for you on the other side of that choice. I turned off the breaker in the basement, replaced the outlet, tightened the loose connections. Small fix. I thought I'd handled it. That night, Iris woke me up. Not gently, the way cats sometimes do, with a soft paw to the face. She was on my chest, crying in a way I'd never heard before. Urgent, sharp. It cut straight through sleep. The room was filled with smoke. I got up fast, opened the door. The smoke was thicker downstairs. I ran. Behind the old cabinet in the living room, where wires I hadn't touched ran through the wall, there was fire. Not big yet, but growing. I grabbed the fire extinguisher from the kitchen, the one that had been there since Anna. I had never used it. My hands shook as I pulled the pin. It took almost the whole extinguisher, but it worked. I dropped to my knees on the smoky floor, coughing. With Iris pressed against my shoulder, Bravo and Nina curled around my legs. If she hadn't woken me, I would have slept through it. The smoke would have done the rest. I wouldn't have woken up. I sat there for a long time, just breathing, holding all 3 of them. The next day, I called an electrician, borrowed money from a coworker, the one who always asked if I was okay, and I always said yes. This time, he asked again, and I told the truth. Not really, but I'm getting better. The repairs took all day. That night, the lights came on strong, steady, no flickering. I looked around the house, same house I walked into that night with 3 cats wrapped in my coat. Same quiet place where I had spent months staring at the ceiling. But it wasn't quiet anymore, and I wasn't just passing through my days anymore. Iris jumped onto the couch beside me, settling in like she owned the place. Bravo chased his own shadow across the wall. Nina made her soft little sound, that constant, gentle commentary on everything. I thought about Anna. I thought about how much she would have loved them, how she would have picked completely different names, how she would have been mad at me for almost walking away that night. And for the first time in a long time, thinking about her didn't hurt the same way. It hurt differently, like missing someone, which is different. Sometimes the things that save us show up in a cardboard box on the side of the road. Sometimes they're small enough to fit in one hand. Sometimes they look at you with eyes that change color depending on the light. I didn't save them that night. It was the other way around.